nothing.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Happy Memorial Day. Oh, hey Charles, how you doing, love? Donna, protected by God. Jess, how you doing, sweetie? Oh, goodness gracious. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Hello, my love. Monsieur, how are you, sweetheart? You flew over with a quickness. You must have known I was ready to go. I had to look. I may not be able to say it on his, but I'll say it on mine. Hey, really dope. How you doing? Hey, Sherry, Kathy Mitchell. How you guys doing? Yeah, that conversation kind of stirred me up a little bit. Because we've seen so much. We've seen so much when it comes to police. Police. What in the world? My iPad is tripping. My iPad just turned itself on. I thought I was hearing things. So I want to say hello to everyone. Hello, Rachel. How are you, sweetheart? Man, I'm telling you that this is one thing that gets on my last nerves when it comes down to law enforcement. People want to turn a blind eye, and we all know. We already know. Hi, let's go slots. How you doing? But nobody's addressed this issue. And I'm just going to put the word allegedly out. I'm not accusing nobody of doing nothing. I'm going to wait for a few people to get in. Y'all hit the like button. Where you coming in from? I am feeling a little under the weather today, but I am truly blessed. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Rachel, that you're feeling blessed because, man, nowadays, sometimes blessed is all we got. And that's enough. Hello, Millionaires Cove. Good to see you too. Hi, Gloria. See Tracy teach. All right, see Tracy teach. Shoot. Yes, Kathy Mitchell. Much love from Cali. Yeah, shout out your city. Watching from the Tar Heel State. All right, protected by God. Lorraine. Hello, Lorraine. Camille. New Jersey. Yes. Jess is, hey, Seattle. Got to represent our town. Bless. How are you, Bless? So wonderful to see y'all coming in. We just going to kind of pick up this little chat that was going on next door over there, next door in Hawaii. Hello, Fonda. My earth angel is here. You've been in the hospital. You okay? Oh, no. You said you're fine now. What happened? Prayera Carrington, Baltimore County, Maryland. Did I say your name correctly, sweetheart? Prayera. Monsieur is from South Carolina. Yes. Hello, Don. Man, I have to pick up where he left off. I really don't know where he left off because I had to jet over here because I gotta stay consistent. I'm a glutton for punishment, but I gotta stay consistent. Yes, sir. Here come part two. And I know that we're not supposed to really be shouting. Well, I won't say shouting out, but mentioning other content creators and such. But we are of the same sector. Wouldn't you agree? He was talking about the whole dialysis. Okay. Yeah, I got questions about that too. Not that she was on dialysis. We knew she was on dialysis. But this all goes back to poor, very poor police work. Hello, Benjamin. Hi, LT. Good to see you two brothers in the house. We got three brothers in the house. Man, I'm so glad to see the men showing up. Yes, we need more men up in here. Thank you so much for liking the video, LT. Yes, y'all, please like the video if you haven't done so already. Yes, sir. We got to have these men up in here. That's our protection. That's our protection. Yes, sir. Honor to all the brothers in the house. Hey, Katrina. Yes, hit the like button. And thank you so much for coming. Hi, Alfreda. How are you today? That's a long name, so I'm just going to call you Alfreda. Yes, 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 yes. This is Lorraine Munn. Pillsbury hand seems to be everywhere. Yes, it does. She is from the same area of Lethal, going to Angie's hometown, and at the crime scene, not to mention, said that the family told her to take the video down. Now that part, we gonna talk about Pillsbury today. If we ain't talked about old girl before, we gonna talk about her today. Because there is just some suspectivities going on with old girl. Rachel said, well, Auntie Mickey, some of the CCs are about them shenanigans at all, not me, so I will stay with you and Mr. Tony. Thank you, Rachel, because we ain't about the shenanigans. Not at all. I ain't trying to go to jail or get sued or none of that other stuff. Hey, Chi-Town. Honey, I don't turn no blind eye against PO due to me has been in PO brutality, so nothing surprised me with thank you. Thank you. Hi, Black Lion. Hello, brother dear. Benjamin says, Auntie Mickey, the other night they were giving you a hard time in you know whose channel. I know. I was going to jump in, but you know who would have blocked me. But let me tell you, I saw you and I felt it. Thank you, Benjamin. I felt the love. And you know what? Sometimes it isn't even worth it, Benjamin. But I appreciate you bringing it up. I thank you for that. I really do. I thank you for that. I feel the love. You know, you got to pick your battles. And I'm not going to jump up every time somebody get to, because talk is cheap. Talk is definitely cheap. Sometimes it's free. So on these YouTube streets, I've come to realize that, hey, stuff happens. Hey, that's it, Queen. How you doing, sweetheart? They done blocked you on 2 channels, Charles. I seen you turning up the other day, Charles. I seen you. Hi, TT. Yes. Yeah, we got to pick our battles. But you know what? Who fights our ultimate battle? Let's be real about it. Who really fights our battles for us? Sometimes if we try to fight the battle, we mess it up. But who does fight our battles for us? In the end, God fights our battles. Sometimes we got to woosah, just woosah, and let him fight our battles for us. That don't mean, though, sometimes he doesn't give us the unction. You know what I'm saying? The unction to step on in there and represent him as well. You know what I'm saying? Vicky, honey. Hi, Kathy Mitchell. Yes. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Fonda said, Auntie, you are everyone's favorite auntie. Oh, on these YouTube streets. Thank you. You and me must never part, my key. Da, da. Angie was doing hemodialysis. That's the first one. The second one is where there is a tink off. placed in the stomach where you can do the dialysis at your home. Angie was doing hemodialysis. She was doing it at home, correct? Protected by God. I don't want to misunderstand. Okay. Chi-Town is gangster. That's why I assigned her as chat monitor because she gangster. I got to get a badge for you, my official chat monitor. Hello, Lady Sparkle Smooth. How are you, sweetheart? Excuse me. But yeah, I need to dabble in a few things. I was kind of cut short next door, and I understand he don't want me to go there, but you know what? I'm at home, and sometimes I got to kick my own shoes off and just say what I got to say in my own house. That person only wants views. I look at him like the ghetto PTY. Oh, she was doing it at the center. Yes, exactly. Millionaires Cove. She did say that she had a van that her insurance covered to take her to dialysis. So again, I'm glad I asked because I didn't want to misunderstand. What happened to? I thought the son was. Chi-Town. I guess when her son couldn't take her, she did have a van to take her. So, hi, Pink Ivy, Angie, ANNG, Angie 1620. Hello, sweetie. Yes, her son or transportation took her. Hello, Urban Media. I'm a cloud mod. Yes, sir. Eric the Great. How are you, sweetheart? Good wineries play music to the grapes so they grow optimally. Unfortunately, modern music will destroy vineyards just like society. Flashing lights, none your brain. Okay, good to know. Thank you for that very enlightening perception of music. We've devolved into low vibe entitled jungle bunnies that grow MJ indoors just to complain about power outages or fires created by them and dead firemen. Okay, are you in the right chat, Eric the Great? I'm just asking because you welcome here. But see, you talking about some stuff we ain't even talking about. Have you been dabbling in some of that stuff that they was growing in the basement? I'm just asking. Yeah, you talking about some growing stuff indoors. Oh, what you talking about, Willis? Are you sure you ain't on the wrong channel? Cause we ain't talking about none of what you talking about, man. You must live in Seattle. Growing them herbs in the basement. Mm, mm, mm. Hello, Love Jones. My goodness, we starting out with a bang, huh? Let's see. Who did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Do you believe that the doctor on the scene could have been a fake doctor? Woo, I'm glad you said that. I have never heard of a doctor going to the scene. Me either. That is why I am confused. I am so confused about all that. There's just some very questionable things that took place at the giddy up of all this. And that's why I said what I said next door. We so busy looking at Lethal and Dante and the people on the van and talking about where'd the money go and all this stuff. Well, who's to say? I'm not saying they did, but I'm not saying they didn't. It's a possibility. And the reason I say that is because we as a peoples, I'm going to start talking like Mother Jones in a minute. We as a peoples have experienced police, what does I want to say? We have experienced police inappropriate behavior in the past. Yes, it is hard to express ourselves. But am I right? Corruption. We are surrounded with corruption, be it people that we know, be it people in the industry, be it law enforcement. Am I right? Hello, Carmela 48. How are you, sweetie? And it just brings it all back to the forefront that we've talked a lot about private citizens, and others have even talked about medical staff, military related medical staff. And I may not necessarily jive with that particular theory based on that piss poor autopsy report. I'm going to say piss poor autopsy report. But that report didn't indicate anything of that nature, so I'm not going to touch that. But who's to say? See, here's something about Satan. Satan hides out in plain sight, don't he? Don't he hide out in plain sight? Smoking Molly Collie. Okay, smoking Molly Collie. Black Peter is what I love. Okay, well, somebody can take your Black Peter loving self out of here. Bye-bye. Okay. Oh, did I? You know what? Let's get rid of this heifer. Clearly, she doesn't get enough Black Peter at home, so she got to talk about it on YouTube. Somebody order her some Black D, because she's tripping. Anyhow, moving on. That report, that autopsy report was just one piece of a big picture of they don't care. She gone, Jess. Did you get her some? Did you point her in the right direction of the big Black D? She need to go to New York and check out Diddy. If she, well, no, he ain't got it either. He got the Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll. But anyway, I digress. 1-800-GIGOLO for you. But anyway, I'm gonna stay focused. Yeah, they are protected by God. They're off the chain. Folks, I missed 2 days of this during weekends, so I'm confused. Does Diamond still believe that Shayna is all okay? She hasn't put two and two together with Pillsbury. But autopsy should be done over. I agree, Benjamin, that the autopsy should be done over. I totally agree. But at this point in time, the damage is already done. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, Donna. When my grandparents died separately, they died in the home. It took hours for the whole process to take place. And by the time it was done, I still had to call the funeral home to come get her. Yes, the coroner came out, had to pronounce her deceased, had to pronounce my grandfather deceased in separate, their separate instances. But the way that whole thing went down in an accident situation, it's like they was like, you know what? Let's get this out the way. Come on, let's go. We got some donuts to go eat. Let's go. Let's go get up out of here. We gonna take care of these. You know what they call us when we ain't looking. Sometimes they call you that when you are looking. No shade to the PD, Alabama PD. No shade. I'm saying allegedly. But all it takes is one. Y'all heard me? All it takes is one. Absolutely, Donna. Yes. All it takes is one bad apple in the bunch. Yes, Love Jones. And they interview people too. Which takes me to Pillsbury. Now, according to Pillsbury, when she so eloquently made her little TikTok video, look at me, look at me. Now, I don't know if she was put up to that, if that was part of the plan. I don't know. Exactly, Donna. No pictures. Diagram, maybe. But there's diagrams that they should have put in that report. Even the autopsy report. Exactly, protected by God. But they didn't do none of that. They didn't do none of that. Now, what I was talking about, I was talking about that money that was at the scene. You know, they focus a lot on the fact that Lethal and Shayna went back to the scene. Who's to say that they found it? Maybe they did go back to look for it, but did they find it? And if they didn't, then you got to ask why. Because I'm sure that when they left the scene to go to the hospital, I'm sure that there was law enforcement still on the scene. Am I right? I noticed that, Donna. Charles said, my son died of a brain tumor and he was taken straight to the funeral home because he had a record of a tumor. Mine too, my grandparents too. But had to call them. I had to call them. The coroner didn't do it, but the coroner came out. I ain't never heard in my entire life. I've never heard in my entire life of someone passing away and no coroner come. I've never heard that. Pillsbury said there was a piece of finger in her hair. I never saw. When did she say that? Fonda said it's like they live in Mayberry. Yeah, I wanted to make that point about Pillsbury because she allegedly was on her way with her 16-year-old daughter. They were on their way to some kind of a birthday celebration. Did I get that correctly? Yes. Didn't she have a destination to get to for her daughter's party? What happened to the party? Now, the first part of the matter is that she pulled over to the side of the road on the right-hand lane. This is a 2-lane highway going that direction. Okay? She pulls over, and not safely either. She pulls over to the side of the road. Okay? You leave your 16-year-old daughter in the vehicle to go help. And suddenly this monster truck, whatever you want to call it, brushes over my body. And I fell and I heard screams and I focused on my daughter's scream. That's what she said. Okay. All of this activity going on. And something tells me that Pillsbury realized that she was, in fact, the cause, allegedly, the cause of the 18-wheeler avoiding her vehicle, thereby smashing into the van that was already partially in the fast lane. Makes perfect sense to me. So what she does is, instead of help the people to get out of the way, you've already helped one person out of the van, which ironically, nobody in the van even said anything about that on a police report to my knowledge. I digress. You run back across the street. You run back across the street to tell your daughter to move the vehicle out of the way so it doesn't get hit. You're at that point tampering with the scene of an accident, whether you meant to be in the accident or not. Hey, Faith, how are you? It's just all so suspect. I'm doing good, Sean the boy, doing wonderful. Exactly, Charles. I mean, that's a possibility. But there's so many other moving parts to this whole thing. Donna McClinton setup is another. This whole thing is strange. You've got this chick that shows up, Great White Hope, whatever you want to call her, pulls up at 4 something in the morning. I don't know of anybody going to a birthday party at 4 in the morning myself, but I digress. You pull over, you see this wreckage, you go over to help. Suddenly, this gust of wind, something blows over you, and you hear screams. Your first reaction is to run back across the street. You're going to leave what you were doing to cross the street to tend to your screaming daughter, according to her. I believe that to be the possibility, Sean the boy. But it's still weird. Exactly. You just hit the nail on the head. I'm sorry, Charles, you just hit the nail on the head. Once she got the heat on her and couldn't handle it, she went ghost. Exactly, shake the table. Having her child in the car, she would have pulled her car over far enough from the beginning. She wouldn't leave it in an unsafe spot with her daughter in it. And as a matter of fact, here's another question. How do we know her daughter was in the vehicle? Has anybody asked that question? How do we know? There's no police report with her name on it. There's nothing in terms of an interview. Yeah, she claims she was driving to Charleston, South Carolina for her daughter's sweet 16th birthday. Was there even a daughter there? That's what I'm asking. There's so many moving parts to this, and there's so many unanswered questions. How do we know? How do we know that there was a daughter? And if there was a daughter and you said you ran over there to tend to your screaming daughter, Nobody else repeated that information that you put out there on TikTok. Nobody. There were 8 living people on that in that vehicle, coming out of that vehicle, and nobody heard your daughter screaming. Nobody attested to the fact that you were pulling people out of the van or pulled someone out of the van. This is all based on your words on a video. See, everything that we're hearing about Pillsbury is coming from her own mouth, but that's all we're hearing it from. She got ghosts up out of there, if she was even in fact there, but we understand that there was a white woman there who was trying to assist people. But my question is, why didn't she stay? Number one, I think she, and I'm only speaking my own mind, I think she got up out of there because she knew she caused that accident with that 18-wheeler. Let me see what Benjamin said. Pillsbury phone records of calling her family should be examined. Exactly. Yes, I asked that question too. She's a white lady in the South. She will be protected. I can't expand too much on Southern subculture. Exactly. Monsieur says, I don't believe it, Auntie, personally speaking, just like I do not believe no 18-wheeler truck brushed up her. Yeah, that part really don't make sense to me, Monsieur. But what does sound right is that 18-wheeler was trying to avoid hitting her vehicle on the side of the road. Now that does make sense. And what also makes sense is that instead of sticking around to talk to the popo before they got there, she go left. That's what I believe. Exactly, Dawn. Was she driving back by scene 2 hours later? Did she drop him back off possibly? Who are you referring to, Dawn? Did she drop who off? Benjamin, that is a good question. And out of all honesty, I don't think it was the intent for her to be unalived. I believe it was a mistake. It was something else going on that went wrong. But I think that Pillsbury contributed to the issue. Whether she was part of it or just an innocent bystander, she still is out of line. And why? Listen, has anybody asked this question? If the family has talked to her, why haven't law enforcement talked to her? If anybody could track anybody down, if anybody has the capability of tracking someone down, the same way this chick got on TikTok bumping her gums, they could have found her. If she claims to have been at the accident, why wasn't that followed up? Exactly. Where's the 911 call? Where's the recording? That she claims she called him, right? Did she get cold feet? Who knows? Or is it not what we think it is, and it stems from poor police work from the jump? See, I think if the police would have done their job initially, and I ain't saying allegedly about that, I believe if the police would have done their job the way they were supposed to in the first place, we wouldn't have all these questions that we have. You're right, Fonda. I believe that too. She's not lost or new. She hide right there in plain view. When police are present, you can't always assume that the boys in blue are there for you. Can't assume that. And even though they do wear that badge of honor, it only takes one. It only takes one. Don Beard, you said, is it proven she even went to the hospital? Are you referring to Pillsbury? Yes, you're referring to Pillsbury. I don't think that's even been proven. All we hearing is a bunch of yip yap from Pillsbury. We heard some yip yap and then it got shut down. So she can't even come back and correct her yip yap. But had the police been doing what they were supposed to do in the first place? See, this can go much deeper. They've left this can of worms open, and I don't think it was intentional. I don't know, Don. We've heard a lot of things. We've heard a lot of things, but we do know this. We know that no coroner showed up. That's odd in itself, right there. No coroner came to the scene. And it just so happened that a doctor just happened to be, oh, look, an accident. Let me go help. I don't know, Eye of Crystal, but I think mouths are shut for a reason. Hi, Darlene Spand. I didn't see you come in. Hi, Cyrus. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. I done got into my gum bumping mode. Cause now my wheels are turning. And I've watched this content creator and I've listened to Tony and I've listened to the other content creator, and I'm hearing a lot of regurgitated information that we keep hearing over and over. But the one thing I haven't heard is the what if. Popo. We've heard about what one content creator is saying about the toxicologist and the dude that performed the autopsy, and we hearing a lot of stuff, but what haven't we heard? What haven't we heard? Nobody's talking about something that we've known as a possibility as a people for generation after generation after generation. Dismissing us. And I'm going to just put it out there. Let the truth be told, shame the devil. And Lord, forgive me if I'm wrong for saying this. Had that been a van full of white folks, had that been a van full of white folks in Alabama, you think it would have been handled like that? I'm just wondering. I'm just posing the question. Chi-Town, that's a good question. That might we might be able to make that happen. I don't know. I'll talk to Tony. You know what, Pee Wee? I like that. Pee Wee says something that makes so much sense. What doesn't make sense is how would she know someone passed if she left the scene? The police would have had to be there to pronounce someone dead. So how would she know unless she just got wind of it later by someone else? Which further makes you think that she was in contact with somebody. But the fact that she ain't in jail or being cited for leaving the scene, boy, they look out for each other, don't they? They sure do take care of each other, don't they? Exactly, Lisa. Or it could just be an accident and they didn't take care of business when they investigated it, and now all of this cloud of suspense and suspect is hanging over this entire thing because Popo didn't take care of business, allegedly. It's really sad that we're even having to talk about this because it's a known fact. The whole investigation was sloppy from the giddy up. And once something starts out foul, it's going to stay foul. It's just like when you leave a piece of meat laying out in the sun. Yes, she wanted her coins, Faith. She did. But somebody dropped the ball big time because this can't be this can't be swept under the rug no matter what they try to do. No matter what steps are taken. It can't be swept under the rug. There's too many questions that are unanswered. And law enforcement has some questions that they need to answer as well. Hold on, Cyrus. Let me put this up, sweetheart. My cousin in KJ, Kendrick Johnson, Valdosta, Georgia, look him up. Once you see what the men in blue covered up dealing with his death, you'll see that covering up Angie's death is possible. Wow. Wow. That's the sad part about it is that we don't hear about this in other cultures like this. There's always this cloud of wrongdoing. You know what I'm saying? And they always want to point the fingers at us, us. Not really acknowledging their own participation. Wait a minute. Cyrus. All of his organs were missing. He was stuffed with newspapers. See, that's another can of worms that all this accident has brought to the forefront. That lawsuit. I just had to say something about that because, man, they didn't handle business. Everything just started unraveling. One intention turned into two. Two intentions turned into four. Never fails. But everything done in the dark comes out in the light. That's a shame, Cyrus. I am so, so sorry that happened. They stick together, don't they? They're not about race, they're about the uniform. And that's pretty sad, especially if there are some corrupt individuals wearing that uniform. And ain't no way in hell they can tell me that doesn't exist, because it's been existing. We've watched it for centuries. Well, not centuries, decades, generation after generation. As a matter of fact, wasn't yesterday the 5th anniversary of George Floyd's death? Correct me if I'm wrong. 5 years. 5th anniversary. And another thing I found out, it's a generational curse as well. I'll explain. When Granddaddy used to be a popo, and Granddaddy raised his son to be a popo, I'm going to be just like my daddy. I'm going to be just like my daddy. So that one, he grows up to be a popo. And then he has sons, some daughters. I'm going to grow up and be just like my daddy. I'm going to be a police officer. Generational curse. Exactly, Kathy. Seems to me she was trying to help people and she gets treated like this. But look how they treated folks in the Bible that stood up for Christ. Shake the table. At this point, anything could be possible. Anything could be possible. Especially in today's economy. If you know what I'm saying. See, we living in an economy right now where people are scrapping and scraping. And it wouldn't be too far-fetched for someone to take some kind of a monetary compensation if they look the other way. Yep. So you know what? I done bumped my gums long enough. I'm going to open this chat up to 2 people at a time. 2 people. Come forward and say your piece if you got questions or just what ifs. Because a what if, sometimes the what ifs turn out to be something. The what ifs sometimes turn out to be more than just what ifs. So the first 2 people I see that pop up here, I'm bringing you up. And we can have a little discussion. Because ain't nothing new under the sun at all. Ain't nothing new under the sun. And because we are so close to If not, we haven't passed it by one day. I think it, excuse me, I think it was yesterday, the fifth anniversary of the passing of George Floyd. I think it's only appropriate that we have this conversation. So I put the link in the chat. I put the link in the chat for those of you who would like to pop up here. Oh, there's my girl, Millionaire's Cove.
Hi.
Hello, sweetheart.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you, sweetie?
I'm doing wonderful. Hi, chat. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday. I was just thinking, it is really strange that, I mean, what are the odds? And I mean, I know things can happen in bizarre ways sometimes,
Hmm.
but at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, why is Pillsbury on the same road as Lethal them, whether she's going or coming at that time of the morning? You don't find that kind of strange?
Very strange, especially considering she said she was going to a birthday party at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, that's
And
really
and
weird.
and not only that, you witness this accident or the aftermath of an accident. You jump out of your vehicle. You don't keep going. You jump out of the vehicle to go assist, and something tragic happens, and you take off instead of stay behind. You know, but then you turn around and come back to take pictures. What happened to your party you were going to?
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
I just thought, I'm like, okay, at 4 o'clock in the morning, supposedly y'all are from the same town, but you're on the same road in the wee hours of the morning.
Yes,
Like
yes,
you giving yourself away. It's just like the things that are going on. It's like it just everybody that have said something about it that was there. It's like you can't help yourself. Like you're throwing out partial of the truth and then half the truth. I mean, some of the truth, but it's like you just can't help yourself and you don't realize. Like I guess you thought everybody is really stupid where we can't pick
dense.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, okay,
dense.
where you going? You're on the same road with somebody from your same town. You going to a birthday party. All of a sudden you see a wreck. You get online, you showing yourself, you're bruised up. The first time you're not bruising, the next time you come on, you black eye, you got a bump on your head. Then the next minute you don't have any of that.
Yeah, that shower took care of that.
But I mean, it's very disheartening. It's very sad. And I know that a lot of people do a lot of things for money. And if you took part of the $15,000 and y'all divided it, that's no money. I mean, what is $3,000, $4,000 amongst you guys for a crime? I mean, that's petty money. And
Yeah,
I mean, it's really I don't know. I just think that the
I
family
think
needs
that's
to
just,
really just sit down and figure out what's going on because that is really weird. A
yeah,
lot of the things that's going on is really it's baffling. It's heart wrenching, for
yeah,
that to happen.
yeah.
And no one is taking any coverage on it on the news.
That's the
I just be
saddest
glad
part.
when God just opened up I'm glad when He take the lid off
That's right.
that pot and that pot explode and
Yep,
everybody that's been involved is held accountable, get their time due.
that's right. I agree.
I'm praying that justice is served for her because
Yes.
I can only imagine what she went through or how she was feeling. I'm praying to God that God just told her, "You're in my arms.
Yeah.
I got it from here," and she didn't have to endure the suffering that we may think she went through. I hope he just really just eased her on away from here
Uh huh.
because you were sitting around in a snake pit and you don't know who to trust. That's crazy. And I'm not
Yeah.
understanding if you say you love me, I don't care why no one is speaking up and really telling the truth because everybody is telling something totally different.
Well,
except
because
for
they got
Lethal
something to get
and
out of it.
Pillsbury. They're on the kind of the same wavelength, but they both still telling lies.
Yeah,
But everybody else's story is so far fetched off.
absolutely.
I hope they don't
Very
get any
far
insurance
fetched.
money. I hope no insurance money come about. I hope they don't get a penny.
I don't think they will. I don't
I
think they
hope they don't.
will.
I hope God reverse it. I hope
That's
they don't
right.
get a penny.
God don't like ugly, ain't too fond of pretty.
I hope they suffer for every ounce of breath that Angie took, her last
Yep.
breath. I hope they suffer
Yep.
for that type of money that you were trying to get, and you allow someone else's life. Because it's really weird. Why would an 18 would have just hit Angie if that's the case,
But
and
see, that's
everybody's
just
standing
it.
out in the street? That
That
don't make any
18 Wheeler didn't
sense.
hit her.
I,
That
I don't
18,
believe it did.
she was never out of the vehicle walking around to begin with. Lethal lied.
I'm gonna say this, and I've been saying it from day one. I feel the same way that Dr. Charles Bennett feels. I've
Hmm.
been saying it from day one. I've been saying it from day one. It's just like God has been putting it in my spirit, and I'm not going to mention it, but I've been saying it since day one. Things are not adding up.
Yeah.
Things are
Well,
not adding up.
especially when the police don't do their job to clarify things.
Oh,
They
they
say that
clarified it.
she,
They clarified. They just didn't put it. They just didn't broadcast it. They know
right,
exactly what happened.
right. Well, they know what happened, but they show ain't putting it in no report.
No,
Because
that
if you
money
look at
talking.
that report,
That money talking. Those votes count for the next elections. That stuff
yeah,
counts. So
and
that's what they're looking at.
that's how far up this might go. Who knows?
Yeah,
But it's really hard to pick apart and to tell what's true and what's not, and we have to go by according to what we see in front of us as facts. And
yeah,
speculation is not facts. We can speculate until the cows come home, you
yeah,
know, but until then, all we have to go by is facts. And the facts are that a coroner didn't come. That's a fact. Ain't no sense in saying allegedly. That's a
yeah,
fact. Uh, the fact that there was a driver behind the wheel of that Sprinter van that lost control somehow, and the van ended up on his side, partially in the fast lane.
yeah,
We know that to be a fact. But we also know that the police came and didn't do a very good investigation. Number one, the first report, the first accident they report that came out said there was no fatalities.
yeah. And
They
the
had to
and the
hurry up and
autopsy
fix
is
that.
crazy.
Oh, the autopsy is ridiculous.
And I know for sure because I have my son's father's autopsy. He was killed on the road. He had an accident on the road, and his autopsy is so long for everything from the stomach content to everything he had in his system that he had taken the day
Yep,
before,
yep,
the day before because it was still in his system. They did the toxicology. It took them 3 months because they thought it was foul play. Um, because of the area that he had left, and when once he got on the road, up so his family wanted them to find out what happened because everybody was given different scenarios of what they thought could have happened. So they did an autopsy. Even though they took the 3 months, they ended up burying him a month later. But it took us 3 months to get the toxicologist report, and they buried him. But they could do the toxicologist report through his blood. His blood
mm-hmm,
was boiling. It had turned jet black. His heart had enlarged 3 times the size. All of that was on the report.
mm,
So I'm
mm,
looking at
mm.
her report. I'm like, so I go and pull out mine. So I'm like, well, all the things that she got, she missing a
All that
whole
she
lot of
was
things.
subjected to.
Yeah,
Yes,
she missing a whole lot of things. So I was looking at his, and I'm like, okay, because I still have it, and I'm like, okay, well, that's weird. But I said, well, maybe it's a different state because they're in Alabama. But I said, I know they still should have some of the similar things on the report, but it's not there.
right,
But I don't know. Maybe I think they was pressing everybody. I think everybody was pressing to get it out because everybody is questioning about the autopsy, and which I think
right.
I think what I feel deep down, I think everybody that was wanting to get that report should have just been quiet about it. And then once it was done, then they could have went and got it. Then maybe we could have got the real deal instead of them rushing it and to put on there what they wanted for
Yeah,
us to believe that happened. Instead of, I think sometimes we just maybe need to just not say nothing or
right.
let everybody know your hand so then you can move
But you know
accordingly.
what? But you know what? That report was done 2 days after she passed.
And that's ridiculous.
2 days
Wow.
after she passed, that report was already done. It's dated the 3rd of March.
What?
The toxicology report is a month after that.
So
It
they was
took
really
them
hide. They was
two
really trying to
months.
hide something.
2 months.
Wow.
Charles, what you got to say, brother?
Oh,
Go ahead.
wow.
I didn't know
Okay.
that.
Okay. I've been here since day one.
Mm-hmm.
Day one, every step of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, this autopsy report. What I don't understand now let me say this. It might be wrong, but this is just me saying this. The autopsy, her cause of death is consistent with the autopsy report. Crushed asphyxiation if that truck was on her. Let me just say that. I don't care nothing about all the other
Right.
parts of the autopsy.
Right.
That is consistent with a truck being on your body.
Yes.
But what I don't understand is, now everybody in the chat, listen to what I'm getting ready to say. It was previously said that he was driving erratic. I heard that, and they was telling him to slow down. Okay? Follow me now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I would think she would have her seatbelt on. How do you fly through a window trapped in a seatbelt?
Wasn't
get
it still secured in that picture?
Yep. I'm just going to say that it's secured in the picture that another
Wasn't it
content
still
creator took.
secured?
It was still latched.
Mm.
Okay? That's what I'm trying to point out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now pardon me, I'm going to be devil's advocate here. I've been watching this whole Pillsbury thing.
Mm-hmm.
We got to understand, Pillsbury was a well-known TikTok content creator.
Mm-hmm.
And what do content creators do? They go looking for content.
Looking for content.
Listen to me. Follow me now. I'm not
I
saying,
follow you.
but her whole, everything with her is bogus. Because I'm going back to the content creator. But what happened was, it was more than she thought it was. And when she posted that video on that TikTok page, somebody, and I don't think it was the family, it was somebody else, came at her sideways.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she was real. I think she was a content creator just making up shit. Excuse my language. That's what I really think. Because she just went off. And once she posted that video, people came after her.
Mm-hmm.
But at 4 something in the morning,
Yeah, I mean, I can't look. If you coming and you are well known, you trying to, you got to go back. Think you got to put yourself in the content creator's mind frame. First thing is dollar signs.
Mm-hmm.
First thing is dollar signs. But she got in too deep. She got in too deep. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. She got in too deep, and then she came back because she could see more clearly. It was daytime, and she was on the other side of the highway where the tractor trailer was at. Then she came back, and I seen that old dumb video when she said she had shit in her. I mean, she had stuff in her hair. She had mascara under her eyes, and she said, "I'm going to take a shower." When she came back, the mascara was gone. It's fabrication. But somebody, the bottom line is, somebody got to her after she posted that thing online. I think she's
I
just a
don't think she
liar.
was looking for no content. Not if Tony said that her and Letha is from the same town and you on the same road with Letha at
Oh yeah,
4
but
something in
yeah,
the
I
morning.
understand that. But I
I just
understand
can't
that.
see
But
she's looking for content.
I
I think
understand
it's
that.
bigger. I think it's a little bit bigger than. I mean, she might want to use it for content, but maybe after someone saw something that she was posting or saying, then they asked her to take it down. That could be
Oh,
true.
she
That part of
definitely
it
wanted
could
to
be
use it
true.
for content because she went straight to her TikTok page after that.
Okay, I could probably believe that part, or either they thought she would be more believable about what she was saying about the situation that happened in
And
Alabama. So
Lethal could
maybe
have
they wanted
told
her,
her to take it
yeah,
down.
to get on there to talk
Lethal
about it.
Lethal was probably the one who told her to take that down. So I mean, I believe they connected, but she went straight to the TikTok. She went straight to it.
Yeah, that
And
she did do.
Lethal probably was the one who told her to take it down.
And that corroborates with what you're saying, because when she did that initial TikTok video, she had this little mark on her forehead, and she
Right.
had debris that she
Who keep
claimed was
debris in their hair all the way home? That don't even make sense.
she said she had some of that 18-wheeler stuff in her hair.
She said metal pieces, and then she said
Yeah.
oil or grease or whatever that was in her
Mm.
hair.
There's a joke I could tell on that one, but I ain't gonna go there. We're gonna stay serious.
I don't
Jesus.
know. I just want to get on this. I'm baffled, and I know it's
Mhm.
deeper than what we'll probably ever know.
Right.
Then maybe, who knows? Maybe it will get exposed. We don't know.
Mhm.
We don't know how God is moving it, because I mean, when people are coming so close to a lot of stuff that has happened, we don't know. God may bust it wide open. We don't know. This may be
Mhm.
the straw that broke the camel back. On her death may be what may set a lot of things in the industry straight. We don't know,
Yes. That's
and I'm
now
praying that's what it is.
that is the truth there, and that's the main. See, that's my main focus
I
in
think
this
she's
whole
gonna be the
Angie
one that's going
Stone
to break
thing.
some cycles, some
Somebody
curses that's been going on.
some things needs to change.
Yeah.
Some things need to change. These insurance, I mean, these record labels, as just like Faith said. Here we go. Faith said if the industry have an insurance policy on her, they need kind of autopsy to get double or triple pay. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. They take insurance policies out on their artists. And you can best believe Clive had a policy on her too. They take one out
I'm pretty
on
sure he got a
all of
policy
them.
on all his people.
All
I,
of them. But it's not to benefit the family or the
yeah.
deceased. It's to benefit the
Then,
eight
because they're losing money from an artist that they would make
losing
money
money.
off of, so they
Yes.
got to put some money back in their pockets of what they've lost from the record sales that they was probably getting ready to put out, or the contract that he spent on them. So they got to get that money replaced. He got to get that
Any
money replaced.
what they say, what is it? By all means necessary. All means necessary. They do what they got to do to keep them pockets fat. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the upper echelon was involved, but they make sure, now I will say this, they make sure that they gonna get paid no matter what the circumstances. Now, I believe we can all agree about that.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of thing that we keep addressing. I mean, every time we turn around, we losing one of us in the industry to either jail or death.
But
And we ain't
us
go ahead.
us as a black generation, we're so money hungry that
Mhm.
we will sell our souls to the devil for a quick dollar, and then you lose it in
In
the
the end.
end. I'm like, why? When we've already had it so hard, you out here getting hits and putting hits on people. They're paying you to do whatever, but for that quick money.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like
Looking for
it's so hurtful. It's so hurtful,
mhm. Yeah,
especially
it
when
is.
somebody that's up here trying to bring you up when they're coming up, and she's bringing you up, and she's picking you up and bringing you up to help you get money in your pocket. And she's trying to get you up because she's up, and she's getting you out of the bad situation, and then you do that.
Mhm.
And, I mean, like that is stuff. That's what's hurt me so bad. Like somebody that everybody's talked about that. would give and help you whether you was good or bad, and then you go and you do that.
it,
That
it,
is
it
like
never
it brings
fails.
tears to my eyes. Like
It never fails. I
the,
mean,
I
again,
mean, like
look at
it's like we
Michael.
hate each other. It's like we, as a generation, we hate each other. Like, what is the hate about? When our forefathers don't fought so hard for us to have rights and the little things that we are able to have,
Yeah.
and then you go out and we are even now, generation, we are here killing one another for looking at us wrong, or you get more than I got, or you in my turf, you in my territory, you're
Yeah.
supposed to be able. Oh, that's you drive this type of car. I'm shooting you, I'm robbing you to take your stuff. Like, what is that about? Like, I'm standing here with tears in my eyes because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I see this every day in my field that I work in, and I'm like, it is so disheartening. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we have lost our way, and I don't know if we'll ever get back to where we need to be, but I pray to God we do before Jesus make his return, because this is crazy. We got all our black men sitting behind bars. Some of them are innocent, some of them are not.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got everybody else out here just running around and making dollars and money, and it's
Yeah.
just not making sense. Like, they
No.
using us because we're not thinking for ourselves. We see the quick
Mm-hmm.
money, and that's all we think about. So they know that we need it because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of are down. So when they give you a proposition, you're gonna take it.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a vicious cycle in the culture. It's I got to get what you got, and it doesn't start in the industry. It starts in the basics and growing up. I'll use this as an example, and I know this has nothing to do with Angie Stone, but I'm telling you about this because it kind of gives you an indication on the mentality of some of the people in the culture and how that they're affected from a young age. My grandson is here for the weekend, 11 years old, and now I'm not claiming to be well off. I'm not. I got to work like everybody else. My husband works a full time job, 9 to 5. Well, it ain't 9 to 5, it's 2 to midnight. But we both work hard and have all of our lives. We've raised 2 sons, we've lost a son, and now we got grandkids. And so, of course, when you become a grandparent, you want to do for your children, your grandchildren. So whenever we have our grandsons over, whether they're together or not, we you know we don't spoil them, but we give him little things that we're comfortable in giving him. If he likes snacks, so we give him a lot of snacks. So when he's here, he'll have a lot of snacks. So yesterday, my grandson came home from the park and he snuck 2 friends into the house. And the reason why he snuck those 2 friends into the house is he knows I don't approve of these dudes.
Mhm.
Number one, they're older than him. Number two, I've seen these kids on how they behave. They're unsupervised. They terrorize people at the park. They're very disrespectful to their elders. They cussing and fighting and all this stuff. And I don't want my grandson around that nonsense. But they seem to have latched on to him because he's, a very personable kid. But they told him, you're rich. And he said, no, my grandparents aren't rich. They just, they like to give me stuff. He's 11. He don't know what they're out to do. And I
Mhm.
had to explain to him yesterday. I said, baby, look, I told you a long time ago, number one, you ain't got no business bringing nobody in my house without my permission. That's where you really messed up. But you have to be careful who you associate with. And I've told you before, I don't like these kids around you. I don't like you around them because I don't like you to be influenced. They're not supervised. They act ratchet. They're disrespectful. I've seen this with my own eyes. very disrespectful. And I don't want that kind of mess around. I don't want my grandson around that kind of mess. And if you're in my presence in my home, I'm responsible for you.
Yes, you are.
And as long as you up here, you gonna abide by my rules. You want that bike for Christmas, you gonna abide by my rules. You want something for Christmas, birthday, you gonna abide by my rules. Okay? And I told him yesterday, I said, based on what you've told me, that these boys, especially the boy that's going into the 10th grade, this one boy is going into the 10th grade,
Ooh,
and my grandson is going
he's
into the
older.
6th. He's
Oh yeah,
much older.
that's too old.
That's too old to be hanging around kids my
They don't
grandson's
even have
age.
anything in common.
Nothing.
Mm.
Nothing. So I had to point out to him, baby, sometimes people hang around you because they like you. They like what you got because they don't have it. And I can truly say that these boys do not have what my grandson has. And I'm not bragging and boasting. Please don't get me
But that's, I
wrong.
understand, and that's what it is. A lot of kids do that. They see
Yeah.
what someone else have or their family have, and they
Hmm.
they want they want to indulge in what that other
What that
person has.
child has.
Yeah, but in
So,
the process, you're bringing them down,
but in but
taking from them.
what has happened in the process also is that I've come to realize that this older child is putting these younger kids up to doing some things that they ain't got no business doing.
Oh Lord. Oh yeah, he
And
definitely
I'm
be
not
moving
going
with
into
them.
detail
You ain't got
about what
to.
went on, what
But
happened, but there was something going on in that room that had no business going on in that room.
oh wow.
All because this younger kid is trying to be in the in crowd, so to speak. These kids are cool. They get to ride all over the place. There ain't nobody telling them what to do, that kind of thing. And my grandson, you don't go nowhere without asking first.
Yeah, no
They
structure.
don't need permission from their mom. I've never seen a mom around them, and I've seen these kids for 6 years. Never seen them with an adult ever. And they run in
Wow.
these streets like they
Because they
and
probably
I
running their household. That's
and I
probably what they
find them
doing.
in my house. I find them in my house. Now I'm not gonna say online what I said to them kids, but let's just say they won't be back.
Got that right.
But I say all that because these kids are coming up in environments where they're not, for whatever reason, their moms don't have money to buy them nice things or whatever. I don't know. But it's that crab mentality. They get in a bucket. It's like crabs in a bucket. I'm gonna pull you
Pull each other
down.
down.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull you down and use you
Yeah.
to pull myself up. Because if you stand on a crab while you pulling them down and you stand on another one, eventually, as you pull them down up under you, you're pulling yourself up to the top of
Mm-hmm.
that bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the mentality has been for almost forever. When you think about it, even back into slavery days when they had people talking about the house niggas and the field niggas. They separated them then, trying to tell who's the best one, but they still treated them all wrong. And then they put that self-hate in the people that they're treating wrong. And I'm talking about the massa.
Yeah.
When we got the massa running the country, they all have their way through time. They've all had their way of keeping people of color down. And it's time. I don't care if it's in the music industry. I don't care if it's in the entertainment industry. I don't care if it's at the Kentucky Fried Chicken up the street. It's time for people of color to stand and recognize that we are better than this
Yeah. That's what
and
I
to
was saying. 'Cause
stop pulling each other down.
Because what are we teaching the next generation? Because the next
Exactly.
generation is already wilding out. They're already out of control. I mean, we don't know where we're going to be in the next generation because right now there's no leadership. There's nobody. There's no leaders hardly. Everybody is out for their own self. They're looking at corrupt things and being corrupt. So I mean, who's going to run the world when we are gone? Because the generation now is at a loss.
At a loss.
They're at a loss. And I watch kids all the time and I'm like, they cussing and I'm like, babies, 7 to 8 years old using words, because I don't curse, but using the words that I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
You heard about that
they talk
mama
about
that
the
got her.
grown men, grown women. They talk
Yeah,
about
you.
things that grown folks, you think a lot of grown folks may even talk about if they do is between maybe a husband and wife or boyfriend and
Yep,
girlfriend. They out here talking like I'm
yep.
like,
Like they
oh my
done to
God.
do.
Yeah,
But
I'm just looking at them like,
you heard about that one mother. I don't know what state this is in. That had her little girl. They call her little Miss Shirley, and
oh
she
yes,
do
the
the
little girl
little
that does
boots
the
on the
boots on the
ground
ground.
thing.
Yes, the boots on the ground. Yes.
Somebody finally called that mama, reported that mama to CPS.
Oh wow. I know I
Somebody
seen
was,
something about it was saying about some of the some I guess the I don't know if her manager or whoever the guy is or her uncle or whatever that he was that but he's really not her uncle and the little girl was sitting on his lap, be sitting on his lap or something and
mm,
I was looking at something on TikTok or Instagram. They was talking about it. I mean, just her dancing.
that
I
part right there.
that
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 part right there
I
was
mean,
enough for me.
yeah. I mean the gyrate part is what's getting me because I'm like she
Yeah.
do that better than I do it, and I'm like,
Okay.
I
That
mean,
little hip, that hip was,
yeah, and I'm
uh.
and I'm sitting there, and and I know parents and a lot of people look at it as just a dance,
Oh, it's
but
so cute. Look at her.
a
She's
lot
so
of
cute.
a lot of men don't look at it as just a dance.
No.
They're looking at it, ooh, it's a sexual thing in their eyes. And you have to be careful when you put your babies out here.
When you put your little girls and boys,
Yeah,
because the,
you
the
have to be
boys ain't
really
safe either.
careful. Yeah. Really, really careful, and I know she's doing it because now she's making money. The little girl is making money, with her little gigs and stuff. How she going? I'm pretty sure she's getting paid to have her daughter out there,
Hmm.
But you never know who's watching,
That's
who
true.
who's watching.
That's
But
true.
I don't. When I first saw it, I'm like, okay, that's okay. She's doing it at home. Her mom taking a little video. But then I started seeing her out she was in like a parking lot area with a
Hmm.
bunch of people dancing. That's the second time I saw it. And I was like, okay, where's this little girl out here? She,
Yeah, but you
where
know
the mama
what?
at? That's what I'm saying. Where the mama at? Then I started
Yeah,
seeing all these other videos and I was like, oh my God.
but you
I'm
know
like, she
what?
is exploiting her child.
Yeah,
And maybe she's not realizing it's exploiting.
exactly. I
Maybe
don't
she's
think,
not realizing that. I don't know.
yeah, I don't think the mom intentionally set out to hurt her daughter or even
Yeah.
exploit her daughter. But in the same token, when you put your child out there in the public like that, just like YouTube, you gotta develop a tough skin quickly when you're putting yourself out before the public. Now, 6 months ago, I'd have never thought I'd be sitting here getting drugged by another content creator on a weekly basis. Who am I?
Yeah.
But here we are. But when you put your children out there in the forefront, you have got to know that all kind of people are watching your child. And not everybody is saying, oh, that's so cute. Oh, she's adorable.
Yeah.
Yes, Darlene Span, she said it because I seen it too. And Miss Shirley Mother was on live cursing the world out.
Oh, she
Why you
was?
yeah, oh yeah, yesterday last night I seen the video. She cussing everybody out on online because somebody called her in and reported her to CPS, and CPS came to her home, and now the process is going in examining her as a parent, and she's
No.
saying I'm doing the best for my daughter and I do everything for my daughter and I understand that. Rachel
Or
Haynes
are
said
you
she
doing it
was
for your
just on.
daughter, or are you doing it for you mostly because you know you can get monetary from that? I think when I really found out that it was going a little bit too far is when she was on Sherry Shepherd's show. And that's when I said to myself, that's a little bit much right there.
Oh, she was on the Jennifer Hudson show too.
I mean, yeah, okay, okay, I didn't see her on Jennifer. No, I'm sorry, it was the Jennifer Hudson show.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
sorry. That's
okay.
who I saw her on. That's when I thought, I said, okay, that's a little bit much right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the
So
mama just smiling like it's just, I don't know.
yeah. Now some falsehoods, alleged falsehoods, came out saying that she was being booked for bars and clubs and stuff
Oh
like
God, I
that.
pray not.
And
Oh God, I
she
pray
said
not.
that that wasn't true. And but you see how though how this can snowball into something, just like with the Angie Stone case. All it takes is one thing to go wrong, and then all kinds of speculation happens. And after a while, speculation becomes truth
Here
in
comes
people's
reality.
minds. It becomes a reality
Here
in
comes
people's
reality.
minds, whether it's true or not. People will take a piece of information. Yeah, that sounds like that might be possible. And yeah, I heard that so and so and so and so. After a while, you got a lot of speculation with no facts to substantiate it. I'm afraid for my brother, not Tony. I'm afraid for my brother on the other side of the sector.
Yeah,
I'm afraid for him, not for
yeah.
his safety, but for what's being said, because
It's
I
mental,
haven't
the
seen
mental part.
that too, but I haven't seen the facts to substantiate the accusations, and I so much want to see that, but I don't see it. I have the autopsy report, and I don't see anything to substantiate those claims. So unless I can see that, I can't accept that theory, you know. But I just don't want him to get in any kind of trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you know how folks can get. You talking about the military? I don't know. I've never been in the military. I could never say what they could do or can't do. But I,
But
I
the
would.
military, my son's father, he's been in the military for over 35 years. And I know that they don't deal with the like the traditional system that we deal. They're totally different. They
Uh,
have their own.
right.
So and they're
Military
more
tribunal.
yeah, they're more stricter than we are on the outside. They have their
Yeah.
own judges, their own
Yeah.
lawyers. You go through the whole different process.
Mhm.
So unless he got paperwork to back him up. I
Mhm.
mean, so far he's been coming with proof. I don't know.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I mean that's a big pill right there. That's like a real big pill
Yeah.
you're gonna be
Yeah.
swallowing. So hopefully, he got proof to back it up. And I don't
Mhm.
think, like he said, he's gonna always come with facts. So
Uh-huh.
maybe
I'm
he's coming
waiting.
with facts.
I'm waiting.
Maybe he
And
got.
I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying it's
I'm
not
not saying it's
possible.
not possible.
Mhm.
No, no. Uh,
I'm not saying it's not possible. I just I
Nowadays, you can't put nothing past nobody these days on this.
I'm
And it,
telling you.
to be frank, honest, we've seen on the news. There's so much corrupt stuff even in the military with the women and all kinds of stuff. There's so much stuff been going
Yeah.
on with the military. With the men in there. It's just a lot.
But
I
they
don't
have a
think. I don't
different
think.
way of dealing with it though. They
Yeah.
don't they don't advertise it. They don't, they deal with it in their own
Uh
way.
huh.
The police, that's a different thing. We elect those individuals. We play a role. We pay their salaries. We play a role in their positions. They're more in tune with the community, and we see what they're doing wrong in real time on a daily basis. Whereas the military, they keep their stuff amongst themselves.
Yep. They have their
You know
own
what I'm saying?
policemen and everything. They do
Mhm.
everything in their own system.
Absolutely.
So we'll see. He he's been on point so far. So we'll see. You
Yeah.
never know what he
Yeah.
got. He said
Never
he's always
know.
gonna come with black and white. And what they say,
Yeah.
black and white is
Hmm.
facts.
Yeah.
My pastor always preached. He said, if never get things, believe things unless it's in black and white. White. If
Hmm.
somebody's telling you something or they want you to do something, you need to make sure it's done. Put it in black and white,
Hmm.
so you
Yeah.
got proof. So maybe he's got the proof. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want him to get
I
in
hope
trouble, but
so.
I don't think
I,
he's going to do anything that's not going to be
I hope.
um out of pocket. I don't think. I don't
Yeah.
know. He doesn't seem like that type of person. So
No.
he got a lot to lose. So I don't think he's
Hmm.
going to probably do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
And
just,
so
s- that personality, that
yeah,
personality. He
yeah,
gets
yeah,
sometime. Sometime you get right up to that edge and you
yeah.
back off,
You gotta reel him on back in. Like,
reel him
okay,
on
hey,
back in.
hold up, going a little bit too
He
far.
funny though. He
Hold up.
funny.
Yes,
He
he
is
is.
funny.
Yeah,
But
but I'm
yeah,
glad that he's with him and the rest of them. I'm glad that they're still pushing for
yeah,
justice for her.
yeah.
I think she really really deserves that. Especially
Absolutely.
in her last days, her coming on her own platform to
Hmm.
talk about you know s- her secrets that she's been holding for years.
Right.
And I would have never even guessed that. Like, I would never even guess that she was even remotely going through any of
Yeah.
that. I, it but you never know. You be
You never
silenced for so
know.
long, and I guess maybe God just say it's time. This is the season.
Yeah. And
You
look,
know.
look who else came before her. We had Barry White, Luther
Yeah.
Vandross. Then
Yeah.
Michael started complaining. Prince started
Yeah.
complaining. Whitney
Yeah.
started complaining. And I
Yeah.
think those three, those last three that I mentioned, by them dying the way they did, caused a pattern, so to speak, that gave us pause as to were they shut up by the higher ups. And it's easy to come to that conclusion because we keep seeing it happen over and over and over again. But somebody has come along and raised awareness in a whole new level, and that's Angie Stone.
Yeah. But when God says enough is enough, He's gonna put an end to it. And maybe
Absolutely.
and maybe she's the one that is getting ready to
That's
get some
right.
things changed.
That's right. That's right. I believe. And see, she was a trailblazer to begin with. She was already a trailblazer with the Sequins,
Yeah.
first female rap group to come out there. Funk you right on up. We're gonna funk you right on up. But even in death, she's being a trailblazer, and
Yeah.
this is part of her legacy.
Yep. And maybe
This is
that's what
part of her
God
legacy.
wanted her to do.
Yep.
When her son was saying, we was telling her mom, don't, leave it alone, leave it alone. She's like, no, I ain't gonna let
Hmm.
them just erase me out of history.
Right.
She has that right.
Right.
But you'd have worked so hard,
Yep.
and you've used your talent that God has given you, and you've given it to the world, and all of the money that the industry has made is making off of you. You
Absolutely.
can't pay your people what is due to them, and you
Mm.
still make your money. You want your money plus their money.
Yeah.
That is baffling to me. That we might well not even have any music musicians. Period. We just might as well just make our own music at home. Because if you're not going to get paid what you do, then why even give your talent to someone?
Exactly. But when you love it, see, I believe she did it because she loved it. She loved it. She loved the music. She loved the creativity, and that in itself. See, some people have the. I envy people that have a career that they love because then it's not work. It's not a
Yep.
job.
That's when that's when
It's
God
their
said that's when it's
passion.
your gift. That's your gift
Mm,
and your passion.
your gift and your passion.
When you can do it
What
without
she was
even getting
doing.
paid for it.
Yeah, she was doing it because that was her passion. But yes, she is entitled to every coin she worked for. She
Like she said,
deserved
I should have been retired 20 years ago.
20 years ago. But see, God has a way of putting you out there in a way that you would never think you'd be put out there. See, when we talk about her legacy, we think about her music
Yeah.
industry legacy. But
Yeah.
she had a greater calling than just the music
Yeah.
industry when you think
Yeah.
about it, because it is what has happened, what has transpired recently that has catapulted this situation into the forefront, at least if not by uh, regular media, at least by internet media, which has actually overtaken, from what I understand, the internet media has superseded mainstream media. This is
Yeah.
where people get the majority of their news from.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, the awareness of what happened with Angie will not, her legacy is not going to stop at what happened to her. It's gonna go on to what her demise did for the industry as a whole, and regurgitated a lot of that stuff out of the system, in that people are now looking at what they're doing behind the
Mm-hmm.
scenes, and
Mm-hmm.
doing whatever they're doing against our artists, because I'm willing to bet and believe that they're not doing this to the other white folks. They're not
No.
doing this to white folks.
Well, you
They
already knew that because
black folks.
they were selling our music to them back in the day when they was writing the music, and then they turn around and say, okay, well, we're gonna hold it, and then next thing they know, they hear their music on the radio song by another band,
Yep,
another person.
yep.
So this has been going on for
For a
decades and
long
decades,
time.
for decades and
Elvis
decades.
Presley. We can talk about Elvis Presley. We They mimicked Chuck Berry. They mimicked so many. They mimicked Ray Charles.
And what's his name? What's his name? Oh God, what is his name? The one that used to wear all the makeup. What is his name?
Little Richard.
Yeah, he done talked about it so much. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
he's come out and and talked about it. Yeah.
Yes, he
So
did.
it's just a
So
lot.
they've been
But
doing this for a long, long, long time. And it seems as though the screams become louder and louder with each occurrence. And we've never heard the screams this loud before. So look at what we're dealing with now. We're talking about this on a daily basis.
and you know what? Just think about it. A little small Angie Stone
Little old
that's getting
Angie.
ready to change history.
Okay.
I think she's getting ready to change history.
That's
It
a
takes a
pioneer.
smaller woman
Yep.
to get this much publicity on the social media site, because
Yes.
it's not in on the news
Not
anywhere.
nowhere on
But
the
you can best to
news.
believe they are looking.
Yep.
You can best to
Yep.
believe they're looking.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They didn't think that people would probably even care. They may talk about it for a minute and it was gonna die down.
Yep.
But I
That's what
think
they were
God is in
banking
the
on.
driver's seat on this.
Absolutely.
God is in the driver's seat, and like I said, I always say this. I said, "Well, Angie, you maybe didn't get it on this side of the earth, but God says greater you will get everything that the devil stole from you. You will have it in heaven. You don't even have to worry about it."
That's
Because
right.
you couldn't take it with you anyway, but just the point that you want to leave it for your children and your grandchildren
Absolutely.
and the kids behind that, generation to generation. But now you can't
Absolutely.
leave nothing until things come to fruition from what was
Hmm.
stolen from you. And I pray to God
Hmm.
that she gets it, at least for
Yes.
the grandkids, if nothing else.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, she's worked hard for her coins, and I understand it because I would want mine as well.
Hmm.
But
Absolutely.
hopefully she'll get it. I'm praying that
That's
she's
your
going to get
legacy.
it.
Yep.
Yep.
That's your legacy. See, that's the other big problem when it comes to black people. Black people have been set back centuries in terms of building generational wealth. They've been set back for centuries. White people have had a jump start at least 400 or 500 years, and chances are black folks will never be able to catch up with them. But that doesn't mean that we can't run the race. You just can't keep throwing stuff behind you as you run in the race. You can't throw stuff so the people behind you keep stumbling. And that's
Yeah.
what's been happening.
Yeah.
That's it. That's exactly what's been happening. They've been running the race. Yeah, they've been far ahead for many, many, many years, and they want to keep that distance. You see what I'm saying? Think of
Yeah.
a race, a relay race going around a track, and you got this one person that's way far ahead, and they see this brother coming up and out of the corner of his eye, and he throws something in his way to keep him from catching up with him. And he falls back a little bit, and then throws something else just to make sure that he don't get no closer, and starts falling further and further back. But at some point in time, you run out of stuff to throw in the way, because after a while, that brother that's running behind you is jumping over the stuff that you throwing in his way.
Yeah.
Okay, may not never catch up with him, but you're gonna be awfully close. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But
Yes.
it's been a fight for centuries. It's been a fight for centuries. And at some point in time, like Faith said, time is up.
Yeah. I believe it.
Time is up. How can we compare Michael Jackson and Prince and Whitney to anybody on that other side? You know what I'm saying?
Mm, mm.
Your own people that you affiliate yourself with
The
are
closest ones to you.
buying all the tickets up to see Michael, to see Prince, to see Whitney. It wasn't us so much, it was them that were worshiping the ground that they walked on. They made those people as big as they were. Now we
Yeah.
helped because that was family.
Yep.
But it took them other folks to buy all them tickets. See, we didn't have the money that they had to buy all that gear and buy all those albums. And if you look at it, the majority of Michael Jackson's money came from white folks.
Oh yeah. Because
They
if you
bought
look
his
at all
stuff.
the overseas concerts that he was doing,
Yes,
I mean that places was jam packed. Like I mean
look,
only closest person that I know that's to him is what's her name? Um
Whitney,
no. The
Barbara
Taylor
Streisand,
Swift. Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift.
She's
Okay,
the only
and
one
I'm
that
still
probably
not,
sells out of an arena. I mean, like full
and
capacity.
and
To
I'm
people
not
are standing
understanding that.
outside the arena listening to her concert, and they don't got tickets and they can't get in.
I don't understand that one though. I'm trying to grasp that one. Where is this?
I don't know.
Let me shut up. Let me
You
shut up.
know, you know when you sell your soul to the devil, you know
I'm
you can
telling
get
you,
what you can get, honey. You
she
gon'
must have got up on the table and slit both wrists and a couple of ankles, and I don't know what, because I'm not feeling the
I
Taylor
don't like
Swift
her
movement.
music, so I
I don't
don't.
know where.
You know,
Sorry,
I,
Taylor. I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan either.
I'm not a
I just know
fan.
she's. I'm like God. I said this girl. I said this girl almost like Michael Jackson, cause
Yeah,
they said she's the number one. She sells out of arenas everywhere she
they
goes.
comparing her to Beyonce.
No, Beyonce sells tickets, but Taylor Swift got her beat by probably about 20
Right,
miles.
right,
She sell.
right.
I mean, she's making the money.
Yeah,
I don't know what they got going on, what they doing, but I ain't
I'm
gonna get
not
into that. I
understanding it.
got my beliefs on it, but
Yeah,
mm,
yeah.
you
I hear
know,
you. Yeah,
it's
sometimes some things it's best to not even say what's
yeah,
obvious.
it's
But
obvious. You ain't got to really talk about it. You already know. You
mm,
know, I already know. So we're gonna
it's just
see
crazy.
how this gonna come out. I'm praying for the best. I'm praying. I know honey, I probably wouldn't sleep if that was my mama, honey. I'd be up probably 24/7. I'll probably be in every state I could be in to figure out what was. I'll probably stay in Alabama. I'll be in Alabama so much they'll probably get tired of seeing me because somebody gonna tell me something. Somebody gonna
Okay,
tell me something. If I got to take every dime that I got to get a lawyer, get lawyers on top of lawyers to figure this out, we're gonna figure
that's
this
right.
out.
That's right.
We're gonna figure this out
Mm-hmm.
because she deserved that. This lady done
Absolutely.
help people in her circle to get to where they are, and nobody is talking. That is
Mm-hmm.
baffling to me.
Mm-hmm. And it also it brings it polarizes even the condition of the Shaka Khans and the Patti LaBelles and the Gladys Knights and the Stephanie Mills and all these great black queens that have just endured through the industry, and they still got to work. They should be kicking back,
But
enjoying
I was
life.
thinking, I want to ask you about that because I know I was thinking. I said I know a lot of them may not have a lot of money, but I thought some of them were doing it because that's what they wanted to do and they love to do was perform. So I
Hmm.
guess it's someone else, but then maybe they need the maybe some of them need the money. Especially if they have it if their music is not being played on the air for them to get
Look,
royalties behind that or whatever.
when you start forgetting the words to your songs, it's time to stop. When you start falling off of your shoes, it's time to stop.
Well, I guess when you in your 80s, I don't know. I like baby. I don't did that a lot. You have to go buy the
Yeah,
album now. Um, you go to Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, Apple Music, and you
yeah,
can download it from there.
yeah.
But yeah,
But I
well, I
mean, I
guess.
love them. I love all of them. I love their music. But even they, not, and the best one, this is my own personal favorite. Stephanie Mills, she still got it going on.
But
She,
yeah,
that
but,
clock will
but
be
yeah,
ticking for a
she's okay.
long
But I think
time.
she had a bad concert one time that
Hmm.
she wasn't. I don't know. She didn't sound like herself. I don't know. She
She might have
sounded.
been coming down with a cold or something.
But maybe that's what it was. I
Because
don't
I
know.
saw her in a
It
video.
was the concert where her and Chaka Khan was on, and that's when
Oh,
Tyler
she
Perry
had to.
had to go and
Mm,
do an intervention with Chaka Khan. Because they said she was on stage and she was about drunk
oh,
and
it was
she was
awful.
just all over the place. And
It
they was
was
talking about that on
awful.
the.
And Stephanie Mills stepped in and saved Shaka's Shaka's butt. She stepped in and saved her butt right there. I saw that video. But I tell you, can can y'all still hear me? Millionaires Cove, are you gone? And I put the link in the chat if someone else wanted to come up. Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. Okay, Millionaires Cove apparently has lost her mic. I put the link in the chat if someone else want to come up and talk. We still got some time. Yeah, that's a good question, Vicky. Where is Lauren C? I ain't seen my girl in a while now. Anybody seen my girl Lauren C? I'm starting to get concerned now. Cause she be the first one busting down the door. Especially over on Quiet Storm's platform. I hope she's okay too. I really do. She's always and forever supporting both sides. So is there anybody else? I'm going to put the link in the chat one more time. If there's anyone else that want to come up and say a few words, we got about 10 minutes left or so. If you want to say anything, we still got some time to talk. I'll give it a few minutes, and if not, we can all go night-night. Because I think tonight was a very good discussion. I hope you think so as well. We kind of veered off a little bit here and there, but I think we made our point. There's a lot to be said about this Angie Stone case, but I had to say it today about the police aspect. I just think that was awful work. Oh, that's right, Handmaid's Tale tonight. And you know what? I'm glad I'm glad it occurred to me. You guys, we love Just the Best, don't we? Put a 1 in the chat if you love My girl, Jess the Best. She is the best moderator on YouTube. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that. Because I know for a fact she is throwing it down in YouTube right now. She is. Let me see some more 1s in the chat for my girl, Jess the Best. She means so much to me. She is such a good friend. I'll stop crying. Oh my goodness. I'm saying all that to say this. You know, Just the Best has a channel. Did y'all know that? Just the Best has a channel. And her content is, I love it. It's, I love it. It's just so warm. It's her and her daughter. And it shows just how nurturing she is to this baby girl. And they just do everything together. And she lives her life. And it doesn't matter who sees it. She lives her life and she shares her life on a regular basis. I encourage you to go and check out Just the Best's channel. It is actually called Just the Best. @ Just the Best. Please go check out her channel and subscribe, because I'm telling you, she's been working so hard over here and so hard over there on Tony's channel that she's been neglecting her own channel, taking care of us. Yes, Charles, she's on YouTube. Yes, she's on YouTube. Y'all, please go and check her out. She's got some excellent content. And I think it's only fair that we show her some love just as she shows us love on a daily basis. She was on vacation on a ship, on a cruise ship, and took time out of her vacation every day to moderate for not just Tony, but me as well. That takes a lot. That takes a lot. She showed me just how much of a friend she is. And I encourage each and every one of you to go check her out. Go check her out. Show her some love. Subscribe to her channel. She's monetized. Get some money in her pockets. Darlene said, Auntie Mickey, what day are you going to play Name That Tune? I don't want to come up. I just enjoy staying backstage. Child, we going to do that on Fridays. Jess, can you put your link in the chat for me, honey? I don't have access to it right now, but we got folks that want to know what your channel is. Charles, I'm going to have her put it in the chat for you. Thank you, sweetheart. Love you long time. I love you long time too. That's my girl. She works so hard. She really does. She works so hard and puts so much of her own personal time into helping us, helping both Tony and me. And I tell you, sometimes I got to call her and say, hey, I need your help with this. I need your help with that. And not too far behind Jess is Thay. Thay's another one. You are so welcome. Thay, throw yours up there too, sweetheart. When y'all get a chance, if you don't like some of the little hip-hop content, I'm sure y'all got grandkids and kids that would love to see Thay's channel. So go check out Thay as well. But please support Jess, because she deserves it. I know, Thay. That's why I said what I said. You come when you can. Because this child is 19 years old. Do you know what she could be out there doing at 19? Besides sitting up in here with this old chick. Oh, goodness gracious. So yes, Jess has posted both they and her own in the chat. And if you get time, just go check out their content. Show them some love. Subscribe. We gotta get they monetized too. Yes. Well, you know what? We have almost hit the 2-hour mark. Charles, you were trying to come up? Did you want to come up and say something before we dismiss and say the benediction? Oh, you better not cry. You my girl. The man of the house. I call Charles the man of the house because he's always here to protect us. Exactly, Faith. Okay, Charles. Well, I appreciate all of you coming today. Oh, thank you, C. Tracy Teach. See, she just subscribed. Go check her out. Yeah. I love and appreciate all of you guys. Uh-oh. Did you change your mind, Brother Charles?
Yes. Y'all was talking about the old female artists.
Yes.
I want the chat, or you get time to go look at Chaka Khan versus Stephanie Mills on the verses.
Yes, that's the one.
Check that out.
Yes. That's the that's the one I was talking about as well.
Yeah, I watch everything. I'm musically inclined.
Very observant too.
Yeah. But yeah, I just went on Jess' channel.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm gonna get into it when I get off here.
All right then. Right then.
Y'all have a good night.
You too. Thank you so much, Charles, for that information. So yes, go check it out, y'all. Chaka Khan and Stephanie Mills. And what was it called again? I can't remember. Versus.
It's called Versus.
Versus. VERS.
They go at each other. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because Stephanie Mills had to come to her rescue in that concert. Didn't she, Charles? Really? She had to come to her rescue.
Yeah. Chaka was a mess.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, but tell them, chat, go watch that. You really enjoy it.
Yep, go check it out. All right,
good night.
You guys. Well, good night, Charles. The rest of you, thank you so much. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with this old chick up here. I love you to death. And thank you so much for checking it. Oh, here's my grandson. Oh, I have to wait. He's a mess. That's Xavion. I love him with all my heart. And there he is clowning. Stop. Oh my goodness. Jess said, hi, Zay. Quit looking crazy. Okay. Sit down. Go sit down. All right, you guys. Good night, everyone. I love you. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to knock that. Go sit down.
I'm sorry.
Sit down. I got to say goodbye to everybody. Sit down. For real. I want to thank you guys for all coming today. I'll be back tomorrow, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I love you. And we're going to have some more to talk about tomorrow. So with all that said, peace.
Bye-bye, guys.
Hey, Mickey. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you fill my mind. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine.
The like button, it don't cost you nothing.